from anywhere in the world. As long as you have a drink, it's happy half hour. Great music again. Loving that intro.
Just jams. Banger. Banger.
We're back again for volume 5, I think, of Happy Half Hour. We have with us, as always, Kyle. Kyle, how are you?
I'm doing great. I'm thrilled to be here once again.
And Tyler, only 10 minutes late this week. How are you?
I'm doing good. I'm just wondering when it becomes, as always, with Tyler and Kyle, and it's not. And also Tyler's here.
Yeah, we'll see.
How about you, Luke? How are you doing?
Man, I'm great. We've got a great episode, so let's start it off.
Cheers to that.
First, I am so excited to get into this. I cannot believe that Tyler finally came through. I should have given you a better introduction. You came through with this. So you watched so this was the last movie I watched in 2019. A movie called
2019?
2020.
2020? 2019?
See, a lot of people are like, man, 2020 was bad. I just forgot it existed.
Yeah, just skipped. Instead of a leap year, we just leaped a year. It was
last movie I watched in 2020, and I was watching it, and I was like, okay, like I'm intrigued, like this is okay. And then I was like, what the fuck just happened? So, Tyler, I want to know if you had the same reaction, and then I think Kyle would be okay if we just talk really high level about it.
Okay. Do we need no spoilers, or is this a spoiler-free? We want to give people a chance to watch it.
I think they had a chance, right?
I tweeted it, man.
Yeah.
That's fair. Everybody should have watched it by now then. I know I did the day of you tweeting it. When I had kind of the same thing, and your reaction on Twitter kind of gave me anxiety through the whole thing. Like my chest hurt during certain parts because I was like, is this the moment? Like it would go silent. Like, is this the moment that something's going to happen? And then I think I texted you guys and I was like, I'm having chest pains or like I have anxiety. And it was like 30 minutes before the big reveal. And then at that point I was just like, one of those. So it was like back. I was like, what? And I got to say, it only got like, I want to say I saw like 3 out of 5 stars somewhere. The twist alone, I mean, I didn't see it coming at all. I had no idea.
Yeah, the ending for me jumped it a full point on IMDb. So it's a 10-star rating, jumped it a full point. So, Kyle, this is the movie, and I'm going to give you a high level, okay?
I did not watch it, but I did read the Wikipedia page in preparation. So I think I get the gist of it, but you go right ahead.
Or for our listeners, if you don't want to hear what happens and you want to watch this, skip like 4 minutes. So a girl is driving down the road with her dad. Her dad's driving. She's 15 years old, and she sees her friend at a bus stop, and she's like, oh, hey, stop. That's my friend. And her friend gets in the car and is really weird. And she's like, oh, I'm going to pee myself. And they're like, well, don't pee. And she's like, well, I got to pee. And then they stop the car. So they get out, and then they never come back. And the dad's like, where are you? What are you doing? And he goes to a bridge, and they're like, oh, my gosh, what happened? And then he's like, we got to call 911. And then the girl's like, oh, I pushed her. The dad's like, you killed your friend? And she's like, yeah. And he's like, okay.
It's like that blunt matter of factly.
Yeah. He's like, shouldn't have done that, you know? So then he bonds together with his divorced wife to like protect the kid because she was taking a bath. And then she's like, oh, hey, mom, I killed a kid. And then so they're like bonding together to try to figure this out, right? So they're really bad at lying, and this just got sprung on them. So they're like getting confused, and they're like, the girl who's dead's dad is like coming to their house like, hey, we had an argument that morning, but I haven't seen her. Like, have you seen her? Can I talk to your daughter? And they're like, no, she's not here. And then the daughter walks outside, and he's like, well, that's weird because she's right there. And so they just get really intertwined with their stories.
Can I intervene for 1 second?
Of course.
At first, it's the wife that says, no, my husband and daughter are at the doctor. And then the husband comes out, and he's like, oh, I left her there for some additional tests. And then the daughter comes out, and he's like, what the fuck's going on?
Oh, the doctor's inside. Funny.
So go on. Sorry, I just thought that was like ridiculous.
No, the whole movie's kind of funny. So then they're going, and they're trying to cover this up, and it just gets worse and worse and worse. And they're trying to pin it on this the dad because the daughter's like, yeah, he beats her and all this stuff.
The girl who died's dad.
The girl who died's dad, yeah. And then as a last ditch effort, and I'm skipping a little bit here, but they go to like, because they're like, oh, we pinged the phone and it's at your apartment. Like the girl who's alive's dad, because they have her phone. And he's like, oh, shoot, I have her phone. So then they go to bury the phone in the dead girl's dad's backyard, which that seems pretty uncomfortable because you know he's going to catch him. And he does. So then they almost drown him, but then they like let him go. And he's like, I know that she knows something. Like, you guys need to tell me what's going on. And they're like, we need to get out of here. So they leave, they get in the car, they're going to go home. And then the dad like stumbles up in the middle of the road and the wife just looks at him and is just like, it just goes and destroys him with the car. So then they get home and they're like, we're all going to be in trouble. Like, I feel like they're trying to maybe take the blame for killing the daughter and then the dad just to save their daughter. But it's just this really weird scene, and they're just like wiping the blood off the car. And then all of a sudden the door opens and it's the dead girl. She's like, hey, hi, I guess you guys know what's going on, huh? And they're like, and she's like, is my dad mad? Is he mad that we were just joking. I just want to spend time with my boyfriend. And the parents are just like,
and he's like holding a bloody towel.
Yeah.
He's like, puts it behind his back after she's already seen it.
Yeah. And they're like, you should go home. And that's almost how the movie ends. Like, then the daughter's just like, oh, I just was really enjoying you guys getting along and spending time with you. And the parents are just like, so to me, that was a horrible explanation, almost on purpose. But to me, like, at the end of the movie, I did the same thing as you, Tyler. I'm just like, did that really just happen? Like,
yeah,
fun little movie.
It was. I was trying to figure out where it was going the whole time, and I just could not figure it out. And so I think maybe you just kind of teed me up a little bit by like saying that it was that great or that crazy. And I was just, the whole time I was on the edge of my seat, and it did like put me into shock at the end, but I was very happy I watched it.
Yeah, it was good.
And it was like 2 a.m. So I was like delusional a little bit by the time I finished it.
And then they all went to the zoo for the listeners who are just coming back to that 4-minute break.
Yeah. So my Wikipedia reaction was what the fuck? And because you basically summarized it pretty well from what I know. Yeah. But I don't, it kind of made me think, has faking your death ever worked? Are there any stories of where somebody was like, I did it and it worked? Or do we just
worked out well?
Do we just not know? Yeah.
Based on Tupac's last album, I think
yeah,
there's some hope.
Yeah. And then I also got to thinking that, like, you know, if kids grew up where we did in the middle of nowhere, this wouldn't happen. So you just know how to get away with this. So you just go drink in a cornfield, and that's how you spend time with your significant other in high school. Yeah, you go over to whatever one of your friends has the most cool parents, and then you just sneak out and go get drunk in a cornfield. And that's how you hang out with your boyfriend or girlfriend at 15.
Yeah, but to give them credit, Kyle, they did manage to scheme to where she gets in a fight with her dad, and he says, go to the bus stop out in the middle of nowhere to get you to the camp, and your friend will be driving by at this point in time. Like, to her credit, they schemed.
I mean, yeah, the setup is pretty great timing. It's just the execution there forward could have gone better. Or maybe the lesson here is don't get divorced. You know, just stay together for the kids, or they're going to end up doing some sort of weird thing to get you back together.
No, it's not that. You're going to end up dead. If you get divorced, you die.
Yeah, that's it.
It's the moral of the story. So we had an actual write-in, not that the other ones aren't actual, but an actual write-in stemming from the movies. And Andy wants to know, not our Andy, but our other Andy, wants to know, when you go see a movie, what's your go-to snack?
Been a while since I have gone to see a movie. But, I don't know. If I can just, in a perfect world where I'm controlling my own snack and it doesn't affect those viewing the movie with me, I am a big fan of getting Bunch of Crunch and dumping it in the popcorn. I don't do that when I'm with others because I don't want to ruin everybody's popcorn. But if I'm ruined to some, love for me. But then you get that salty, sweet butter, chocolate. I don't know. It's crunch. It's delicious. That's my favorite thing to do at the movies.
I've never done that.
Yeah, it gets a little messy if the popcorn's too hot because all the chocolate starts melting. But yeah, a little bunch of crunch inside. With bunch of crunch might be a candy that's only available at movie theaters. Like I remember when it first came out, you could see it in the store shelves. It's like you know what it is, right? It's like crunch bars, but it's like little balls. Yeah. Now I don't know the last time I've seen it not at a movie theater. I don't even know if it's at movie theaters anymore. But if it is, get some, dump it in your popcorn. It's awesome.
Yeah, mine's a little less fun. I was not allowed to have butter popcorn, like butter on the popcorn growing up. Not that I wasn't allowed to. It was my father's decision. It was popcorn is one of his food groups. And it was his decision, the bucket of popcorn. And he didn't like butter on the popcorn. And so, I mean, I would still go to town on the popcorn, but I never had butter. So now, like, that's a delicacy to me. If I get to have just like a large, like, Sierra Mist next to me and a bucket of butter popcorn, I'm happy.
Especially because they all have the butter machines where you just get to keep pumping it and add as much as you want. Just nothing like melted butter.
We'd be a good team, Kyle. That was good form on your part there.
I'll push you. You move around.
I don't mean to jump ahead to cause a fight, but I'm just not a huge popcorn fan. It always gets stuck in my teeth.
That's true. Well,
if you keep eating it, the other pieces get the rest of it out.
It's like a lot. You just got to keep pushing through,
Yeah, I always loved grabbing I feel like at the time movie theaters had the biggest bags of Skittles that you could readily get. So I would always grab the huge bag of Skittles. But what this made me think of a little bit, did you ever sneak your own snacks into a movie?
Why is that past tense?
Yeah, my mom would always just like bag up a bunch of different candy and bring it in.
Brock's Nuggets?
Probably. I mean, I wasn't eating them, but maybe she brought them. Yeah.
Yeah, I had like a moral dilemma the first time I realized what we were doing. And like my mom's purse is just full of it. And I just remember like my dad cracking a Diet Coke just playing there. I mean, I was like, not even
that's a bold move. I like that. Yeah. We've never brought drinks. But
and then Andy has one other issue. It sounds like it's a really large debate. Okay. And sticking with food here, he wants to know fudge rounds, oatmeal cream pies, or Star Crunch. What is the Little Debbie goat?
I don't even know what the first one is.
Fudge rounds? It's like the oatmeal cream pie, but it's fudge.
Interesting.
I don't know. I don't know if my
answer.
I don't know if my Little Debbie goat is any of those.
What's your
I was
Little Debbie
going
goat
with you, Kyle. I think that.
What are you going? Honey buns?
I like what are the nutty bars? Yeah,
That's
those are
right there.
Those are incredible. Yeah,
I think it's the nutty bars, and I think it's vividly because one time you and Alex came over and we had an entire thing of nutty bars. And I think thing of Cheez-Its, and the nutty bars were gone in the morning. Yeah. It was like, where'd the nutty bars go? And I was like,
Oh, these things.
Yeah, now you know. The hair on the back of your neck stand up when you saw those.
I was picturing Nutter Butters, and I was like, freaking crazy. I mean, I love Nutter Butters, but
yeah, those are good, but yeah, not the best.
I mean, I could eat a whole sleeve, and by sleeve I mean the big box. I could eat a whole sleeve of the oatmeal cream pies, no question. And that almost makes me think they're not that good. And that I would pick the nutty bars. I might have to go with you guys because these things just melt in your mouth when you start biting it.
Oh man, gosh, I feel like I'm just bad at picturing Little Debbie snacks too. Like, not that any of them are bad. Like, if you offered me some, I would eat them gladly. Any kinds. Oatmeal cream pie is great.
Swiss rolls.
I mean,
Swiss rolls. I like Swiss rolls.
Zebra
cakes. I don't think are great, but I'm very fond of them. So my mom always had them as a kid, so I just love them like nostalgically. Cosmic brownies, fuck. I love those things. Those things are awesome.
Those are one where like I eat them and I think they're good, and then I ate the whole bag and I'm like, well, I don't feel well, and that was unenjoyable.
You can't do that.
But they've got the
too much. There's just too much sugar in those bad boys.
The ones with nerds on top. Now we're talking. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, I'm looking up Little Debbie snacks.
Just browsing Little Debbie snacks now.
I'd like to find the person that came up with raisin creams pie and fight them. Absurd.
So right now in the pantry, I have zebra cakes, Swiss rolls, oatmeal cream pies, and nutty bars. If you want to know what kind of life I live.
The perfect life. And you
For
can
the
just
kids,
use it.
for
You
the
can use
kids,
it as an excuse for the kids, and really, it's just you eating them.
Speaking of kids, I guess I should have congratulated you when we logged on. I don't know if you.
I never know if he's happy about it, so I don't don't ever say anything.
Yeah, thank you.
He's like, yeah, that's great. He's
did
podcasting in the closet today, if you didn't realize. So now that they have another kid, he got demoted to the closet.
I'm still inside, which is a plus.
That's good.
I did find a chart called "The Inherent Fallacies of the Little Debbie Snack Cake Rankings," which
I don't know if
I don't agree with, so I'm going to put it away.
okay.
But I feel bad for Andy. We didn't even mention the star things that he was talking about. I almost think
those
those
are-
are off. Those are off-brand, aren't they? Or are those still Little Debbie?
I think they have a Little Debbie. I used to eat
I
them.
mean, like those are good too. They're so good, and those are so unassuming. Like they don't try to be too much. That's what I love about them. They're not over the top, not crazy. It's just a little Star Crunch.
But what is it? Is it like?
well,
I think it's like a chocolate covered Rice Krispie, sort of.
Like
yeah.
so, it's like Cocoa Crisp, just like melted into a ball.
it's almost like a Rice Krispie covered, instead of peanuts, covered payday. So like the outside is really crispy and the inside is literally stuck in your teeth for a week.
Yeah, but like I think it might just be chocolate and Rice Krispies.
I mean,
Yeah.
I'm fine with that.
Yeah, those are good too. It's hard to go wrong.
I've never had a payday out of principle, so I wouldn't know how you were describing it there. But
So I recently had a chocolate payday. One of the greatest things I've ever had.
They make chocolate covered ones. Yeah.
No, it wasn't chocolate covered.
Oh, just chocolate.
It was
What
just
is it?
like chocolate caramel.
So they just got rid of the peanuts and covered it with
No,
chocolate.
no, 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 no.
it's a Twix. This is a Twix bar.
Yeah, Milky Way. Snickers? Was it a Snickers? I think you had a Snickers.
No, it was peanuts just like normal, but the caramel was chocolate.
Oh. Huh.
I
I've only seen it
can
once
get
in my
on board
life.
with this
I
thing.
don't
Yeah. That's wild. Never heard of that. What will they think of next?
All right. All right. We're here on January 4th today, 2021, if I get my years right. So just celebrated the new year and wanted to know if you guys did anything fun for the new year and if you have any fun New Year's Eve/day traditions.
Yeah, I think we had fun. We had fun, right, Tyler?
I think we had fun as
I
well.
think we had fun. Night got a little foggy, but yeah, we just spent the evening at Tyler and his roommate's apartment and we had a great time. Thanks,
There
Jill.
were a lot of unanswered texts. I don't know.
Yeah.
I
And it was
figured you
like
wanted to go here.
it was like at 6:30 too, and we already weren't texting you back.
Yeah.
I was on like my 6th margarita, and Kyle came over and he was like, "Hey, so you haven't responded to any texts?"
I was like, I think it's funny how you keep replying, but don't answer any of Luke's questions. He's like, oh shit. Because like, I can't remember what, but like, he asked you how you became an Iowa State fan and something else, and you just replied with a picture of Greg's kid.
I think that was around Margarita 4, and I was like, I saw that you had said something about a kid, and I was like, oh, he'll appreciate that I have a kid here as well. And so like I took it, and it just like those pictures are so big, they just buried the text, and I lost it, and I'm sorry for that.
Yeah, I was sitting at home, taking it easy, having a couple drinks, and I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna text my buddies because they'll like enjoy laughing with me on New Year's. I'll have a little fun." Nope.
I did enjoy the text. The questions just went right over my head.
Yep.
It was like I saw that I was gonna have to give effort to responding to something, and it just see ya. I am sorry.
It's noted. It's noted.
Yeah, it was fun. It was a fun New Year's Eve. We played a lot of drinking games. It's been a while since I've done that. Just played drinking games with friends, so that was a good time. Plenty of good food.
Oh yeah, a lot of good food.
Yeah, I don't know. Nothing more else to report. Oh
Yeah,
I think my only tradition is just starting the new year as hungover as I can possibly be. And I think it's great though, because you want your year to start so low that it can only get better.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I had one of those hangovers where I'm face down on the floor for about 2 hours and not sure what's happening.
We did not text a lot New Year's Day. Not a lot of communication. It was just everybody all right every few hours. That was...
Yeah, to be fair, you didn't text a lot New Year's Eve either.
well, you know.
I did get the roommate to watch Avengers Endgame. Our saga came to an end on New Year's Day.
Beautiful. How was it? What did you think?
I was gauging her. I have seen the whole saga, and the whole thing that started this, I feel like I've talked about it, but was because I was like, yeah, I cried at the end of Endgame a little bit, and she made fun of me, and I was like, you just wait, and then I made her watch Iron Man and all the way through to understand all 28 movies, whatever it is. And we got there, and I was like starting to tear up again at the end of it, and like she's talking to me like everything's okay. She's like, oh man, I didn't, spoiler alert here, I didn't want so and so to die. That's too bad. And I'm like choking up over in the corner again. I was like, shit, it got me. So that's what I did New Year's Day.
There you go.
But she appreciated the saga. She was like, I'm glad I went through that.
Good.
So now we can watch Homecoming, Kyle.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Finally, I've been waiting months to be able to watch this Spider-Man movie. So, all right, Luke. So what happened while we weren't texting you back? What'd you do?
Yeah, I didn't do a whole lot. Sleep, at a premium still. So just kind of hung out. Actually, that was New Year's Day. New Year's Day, I had Christmas with my family. New Year's tradition, normally, growing up, I would go with one of my buddies. We would go to the mall New Year's Day every year. So historically, I'm not a late night person. I think, Kyle, you definitely know that. But Tyler, you'll grow to know that. I'm always up early in the morning, but not a late night person, so I always struggle to stay awake on New Year's Eve. One of my old bosses that I get along with really well, she was doing a Zoom New Year's party this year, and I was like, oh, that's a really great idea. Like, just have Zoom on all night. People can come and go as they please. Started at 11:40. I was like, not going to make it. All right, I'm not going to be there.
Can't do it.
The invite. So no, nothing this year. Took it easy. I actually played a drinking game too. I took a drink every time somebody didn't answer one of my questions in a text. Crazy.
There's no way you made it past 10 o'clock. Maybe not even like 8.
No, I was in bed by 9. It's crazy.
Understood.
All right, you mentioned Marvel and Avengers. And it's one that I'm maybe I'll be the one to start this, but we're going to play a game called Start a Fight in 5 Words. And
don't you dare start.
I don't like that lead in.
It's 4 words, and then it might need some explanation. But,
okay, we'll count them out. Go ahead.
Marvel movies are garbage.
I'm gonna leave. Where's
my ex? Where's the exit button, Kyle? You want to go have a side thing?
I kick Luke out. How's that work?
No, I don't really mean garbage, but I think Marvel movies are severely overhyped. Like, I mean, maybe I just don't appreciate them, but I feel like everybody is just like over obsessive, and I'm just not that big of a fan.
I think there's 2 parts to that. One, I would agree that maybe individually they're not all 10-star movies. But as a whole, you have to appreciate the story that was told.
It's incredible.
And all the interconnecting storylines. Just because, one of the plot points isn't great or you didn't enjoy one of the movies, I think it's still a feat. And
right.
I'm in it for the story. Sure, I didn't like some of them as much as the others, but as is with Kyle knows my stance on all Star Wars movies. If a Star Wars movie comes out, I'm going to watch it. I'm going to enjoy the story.
Yep.
I'm going to take it all in. That's kind of how I feel about Marvel. So I don't blame you for not enjoying the movies. Garbage is strong. We'll talk about that later.
We'll have a sidebar.
Let me say that.
I agree. Sure, right? Not all of them are fantastic. Yeah, like you said, the whole story. Like, I would put the last 2, whatever, Infinity War and Endgame. That 6 hours is just some of the best 6 hours of cinematic like block of history you can watch. And you can say whatever about the other 25, but those 2 back to back are incredible.
But I
think that's how it is. Like, Like, Endgame was just so good, and it's like, because it's so hard to wrap up a story, you know? Like, we saw how Game of Thrones just flopped. Like, even if you didn't, well, I don't think you watched it, did you, Luke? But you were very aware of, like, the whole world just saying that last season sucked.
Right.
We don't need to talk about that. But, like, to be able to wrap up a series that's 28 movies long so well, it's just something that's hard to do, and they did it perfectly.
And it's not the best 6 hours of cinema unless you take in the other 28 movies.
But yeah, like just knowing everyone's backstory and seeing how it all comes together, and it's just incredible.
Some of it may be well documented. Like Iron Man, I really like the Iron Man trilogy. Like I thought that was great. Didn't care for Thor all that much, or some of the other ones. Maybe part of this comes from the fact that they rebooted Spider-Man and killed Gwen. If you've been following along with the podcast long enough, I'm a huge Gwen fan, and they just killed her. And then they stopped that one, and then they had to reboot Spider-Man a third time, and I've been upset ever since.
Yeah,
correct. I do not acknowledge the second reboot of Spider-Man.
Okay,
what was that
one?
What was that, like The Amazing Spider-Man or something? Is that what that one was called?
Yeah.
Yes, Tobey Maguire is Spider-Man. Tom Holland does a good job following that up. That's all I'll say about that.
Or yeah, like, I don't know, this is a whole other side conversation too, but Into the Spider-Verse is incredible too if you just want to watch some good Spider-Man.
Won't argue that.
That movie's fantastic.
All right, anybody got something less hateful? I mean, I've got a list.
I don't know.
Here.
Like, yeah, I wrote down a few. Most of them were, I think, I started off like thinking what would make me the maddest. So like my first one is your hairline is receding. Somebody says that to me, well, it's on. It's on. Like, sorry, Tyler. Sorry. But see, doesn't make you want to fight me? Like if I looked at you and said that, you'd want to fight me.
Well, my roommate got me special hair shampoo for Christmas. So you didn't really say it. It was just a gift. It's like, huh.
Didn't remember asking for that.
You punch your roommate? I mean, like him or her? I don't.
Whatever.
It was the first thing I opened, and I had like 4 gifts to go, and I was like, huh, well, I want to go home now. Let's.
Yeah, that one we're gonna throw hands. Next one that I think will get the world fighting. Androids are better than iPhones.
I mean, I don't disagree with you, but try finding a charger anywhere in the universe.
Right.
I have an iPhone solely because I know that there will be an iPhone charger.
Oh yeah, I have an iPhone too. I'm like, yeah, I've never owned an Android, but people who are all gung ho about them, all right, cool. I don't know, you weirdo.
The Note 7 was the best phone I've ever had in my life, and then it had blow up issues.
Then I have a couple food ones because I thought that just came to mind. People have argued about food. If someone ever uttered the phrase, "This has too much cheese," I would fight them. Not possible. I will punch you square in the jaw if you complain about something having too much cheese on it.
I agree. I second that one.
One that I think we'll all agree with here. If someone says Skyline chili is gross,
Yeah, I got your back there too.
I'll fight you. That stuff's awesome.
Yeah.
If you don't like it, you just don't appreciate good chili. All right. And then my last one, because I didn't want to go on forever. One that I feel very strongly about. One that I think might get some heat from you guys. Ban charges in college basketball.
Yeah, I don't agree with that.
Yes, get them out of here. They're terrible. They make college basketball refs love calling charges, and half of them they're just not. But they love it's their strikeout call. They love that they get to do this and they get to make it about them and hop down the court. So college basketball refs just love calling charges anytime a guy grabs his balls and falls down. Like that's not a defensive play. That's not a play on the ball. It should almost be a flagrant. Every time a defender makes a play, it's not a play on the ball. It's a flagrant, right?
Someone's gonna get hurt.
What is grabbing your dick and falling over? That's not a play on the ball. You elevate and try to block the guy, and if you can't, get out of the way. And like, I'm not saying there shouldn't be offensive fouls. Yes, if the guy's out of control, running people over, sure, but the act of grabbing your balls and sliding a little to the right and falling over because you can't go up and contest the guy at the rim should not be a foul.
You make a lot of good points, but I also made a career out of taking
Right.
charges.
Like, I assume all of us did. Yeah, I did too. Like, I was always the guy diving on the floor trying to take charges, but like,
I wore a
that's
flak
because
jacket.
I'm not a good basketball player.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's not a basketball move, so get it out of there.
I'd sprint back and I'd be like, choose your way because I'm coming with you and you're going to run my ass over and we're going to get a charge call and that's fine.
That's what I'm saying. Like, of course, guys like us made off because we're not good at basketball.
And
anyone who's good at basketball doesn't.
Refs are prisoners of the moment. I'll give you that. They are prisoners of the moment, especially if there's crowds. I'd be interested to see the stats now.
Yeah, I almost swear, like, I think it has something to do with being this motion. If the ref had to emulate what the guy did to call a charge, stand there and grab his nuts and blow his whistle, I bet they'd stop.
And just fall over.
Right, because they can't celebrate and hop down the sideline doing that. At least they'd feel pretty fucking weird, I guess, if they did. So I think just something simple like that. Don't change the rule at all. Just change the motion, and you'd see a decrease.
I would say my favorite part about charges is when another ref calls a block at the same time that the one ref's going crazy.
And they just look at each other.
Yeah, and then he's just like, what? I have a couple food ones I'm going to jump in with.
Yep.
And then, Tyler, you can go. Nuts ruin brownies.
Okay.
Fair.
I think I would say cinnamon rolls as well. Nuts ruin cinnamon rolls.
You've never seen crushed up nuts on top of a cinnamon roll? It's kind of weird. You're right.
I like it. All right. Okay.
Or like if somebody hands me a brownie with nuts, I won't complain, but I'd rather not have them.
Well, sure. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd rather not have them.
Scrambled eggs suck.
Go on.
No, not a fan of that one.
They're easy. It's like their convenience is nice, but yeah, I'd much rather have any other kind of egg.
Yeah. And the last one I thought that normally would cause a fight when you say it is I fucked your daughter.
Yeah, that might.
I'll get you there.
Fight getter.
I can see that.
Yeah.
Let's hope you never have to hear that.
Yeah. Hey, too soon.
Hey, don't talk about Josephina like that.
All right, Tyler.
I feel like I say a lot of things that upset people, and so I was like trying to go through just like things that.
You're right. I should just look back through our texts and see what made me mad.
Mine are blank. I don't have any text.
He never texted you back. That's weird.
Did you guys plan this beforehand to set me up on the time?
Man. No, but we were never shy of running a joke into the ground.
It's kind of our thing.
I can't decide. This doesn't fit. I mean, I'll fit it into under 5 words.
This is the best part. Yeah, 5 words. Here we go. Start.
But I think the first word.
That's low words.
you can't count it as 3 words.
Okay, it's hyphenated.
It is hyphenated. Okay. Chick-fil-A is the first word.
Chick-fil-A.
Okay.
That's
Can
one
that be
word.
one word.
That's one. Yeah, that's one entity. That's one word.
Sauce
Chick-fil-A sauce
is not great. Not great is what that's the best way I can put it, and then I'm gonna further explain it afterwards. It's their second to worst sauce that they have.
How many sauces do they have? I thought they just had the one because it's that good. It's all I've ever ordered.
They have like 7.
What is it? Is it ketchup? Is that one of yours?
If you put ketchup on anything other than fries, but
I think we have your next one.
Ketchup only belongs on fries.
That was a good one.
Chick-fil-A sauce. All right, what's the deal? What's your problem?
The other sauces are just way better.
What are the other sauces?
You keep saying that. I don't know what they are.
The honey mustard. So I would put the number 1's the spicy sriracha sauce.
Okay.
Mountain's better, and I get that could be an opinion if you like spicy stuff. But you can order up to 6 sauces at the window, and I'll have like a sandwich and an order of fries. I'll be like, I'll need 6. Like, sir, you only. But I'll take all 6 because I'm dipping it in. Then they have a honey mustard sauce, which is better than the Chick-fil-A sauce. And it's in the same, I consider those same family.
Yeah.
But people don't think about it because they want the Chick-fil-A sauce. And it's just mountains better. And then they've got ranch and buffalo, which could be considered one because you mix those together. And throw them in together and mix them.
Right. You can't have one without the other.
But both are quality sauces.
Okay.
and then I don't know how many I just named.
I think
their barbecue is pretty good too. I have no complaints about their barbecue.
okay.
And then I would put that and then the Polynesian sauce last. That is my stance. So my 5 words, I couldn't say that it wasn't the best. I don't mean it's bad. Like it's just not my first choice. And it's not my 5th choice.
Weird. Yeah, I think it's fucking great. I think it's awesome.
I understand.
You want to hear something crazy about growing up and still living where I do? When I get Chick-fil-A, it's like at an airport, and people like airport food can be really good, and people will. I'm like Chick-fil-A because I never get it.
Yeah.
It's a delicacy.
It's true.
It is.
I didn't have it till I went to college. That was the first time I had Chick-fil-A. I was 20-some years old.
Yeah.
And I was like, what the fuck? This is awesome.
So you go every day and you go on Sunday and you're like, what? Why aren't they here?
It is bizarre how you only crave it on Sundays. But
they had it on campus here at IUPUI, and somehow it worked with your meal plan. And I had a meal plan.
You're shitting me.
Like 2 days a week. I was.
Well, no wonder you got to try all the sauces. Yeah, you just had it in sheer volume.
How do you think I found the other sauce? Everybody's like, just get the Chick-fil-A sauce, and they were out one day. I'm like, all right, I'll do that one.
I guess that's true if everybody gets it.
So yeah, it was 2 days a week Chick-fil-A, 2 days a week Papa John's also fell into that category. So I was a super healthy kid.
At Marion, I think Subway fell on the meal plans.
I love Subway, and Subway's good for you, 100%.
Yeah.
You know what?
I've seen the commercials.
Subway is not that good for you.
But Jared, you lost all the weight. I mean,
no, let's not bring Jared into this podcast.
Yeah, that guy sucks.
Another 5 words. Jimmy John's stinks compared to Subway. 5 words.
I just don't think you have properly adjusted taste buds. That's the real issue.
Where's Penn Station fall?
Different category.
Because they're hot sandwiches. I guess I could buy that.
Because it's superior, and I consider it like it's like a fancy thing to me.
It's that much higher. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, it's just like it's.
I mean, it's East Coast subs. We get them in the Midwest. It's gotta be fancy.
Yeah, Jimmy John's is in the category of Quiznos, which it is below, like Quiznos subs, Firehouse, Subway, those kind of things.
So another funny story. Growing up here, I thought that Subway was the only sub place, and then I went to Indianapolis once, and I'm like, what?
Same, yeah.
Like 98 sub places?
Yeah. It's crazy. Yeah, like Jimmy John's was like so foreign. Another thing, didn't try till college, and then just like, oh, there's 6 of them in every city. This is crazy.
They're everywhere.
Oh, man.
Do you have any other really greatly worded sentences you want to share, Tyler?
No, I don't. It was hard enough to, as I said things, I was counting them out on my fingers. And if it didn't fit, I just kept going.
Keep doing it. All right. Well, I think that's probably it for a very successful night. There's another, we did get another mention that he's going to be so mad if I don't bring it up, but I just feel like it's a long conversation. I'll bring it up quickly.
Okay.
So the NCAA made some announcements today about the great state of Indiana, but per sources, the NCAA is actually considering using Enochsburg Square Arena as a potential location for playing games. And I think Truett, a vivid listener, wants us to go into the greatest players, coaches, records at Enochsburg Square Arena, which I don't know how long that would take.
Enochsburg Square Arena. So that's the church hall that has a basketball court.
That is.
Is it made out of the puzzle pieces, like of plastic with the holes in it? You guys have those?
No. But the entire court is, so regulation court is what, 90?
94, something like that.
This is about 50.
It's about 50.
3-point lines end on the out of bounds line.
There are no 3-point lines. It's like the wedding reception hall as well. But they make these nice wooden boxes that fit right over the basketball hoops that you can put flowers in when there's a wedding. So
it's beautiful.
Yes. So we have played a ridiculous amount of basketball there, and I think one of the main reasons is because you don't get tired. It's like playing half court, but there's 2 goals.
Right, it's great. But like out of bounds is the wall.
Yeah,
Like, court's not wide enough either. So like there are like out of bounds lines painted, but even like when we scrimmage there, like the wall's out of bounds. It's not.
So it's like arena basketball.
Basically, yeah.
Okay.
But
Yeah,
the walls are carpeted, so it's the only like basketball court you can get a rug burn on, which is kind of wild.
Kyle, you played CYO ball, right?
I did. I played CYO ball for 3 years in high school.
I too played CYO ball.
Really? I too played CYO ball. I was a 6'4" point guard with long hair. So they're like, we need somebody to bring the ball up. And I'm like, well, I'm like the center, obviously. I'm 8 inches taller than everybody else. And they're like, but nobody else can dribble a basketball. I guess I'll play point guard. So my highlight, not to derail, my highlight playing CYO basketball was I was the point guard. I was bringing the ball up, and I was being guarded by a much smaller person, and I am extremely uncoordinated. I accidentally stepped on the kid's foot. He was backpedaling, so he fell down, and I shot a 3, and I made it. It was like
Crossed him up.
So I was so excited. The next time, I just dribbled the ball down and chucked a 3 and airballed it. Heat check. I was not on fire.
That's awesome.
Completely. That's beautiful.
You also got smoke breaks at practice?
Basically, yeah. My dad was also the coach for 2 years when I played, so that was a treat.
Oh, Greg Brown was our coach.
Oh, yeah.
We literally had smoke breaks.
Yeah, it was fun. I just remember my dad's offensive philosophy was shoot it quick, because if you guys pass it too much, you're going to turn it over. Like if we made more than 3 passes, he'd be like, shoot it, you're just going to throw it away.
Percentages are against us here, guys. If we pass one more, this thing's gone. But.
And then I do believe one time he was trying to teach us like how to play basketball, and like everybody would always go to the right side when we use their right hand. And at one point, I think he was like, if you guys don't stop dribbling with your right hand, I'm going to cut it off and tape it to your jockstrap.
So one other funny story is
so no actual highlights of players, but a lot of coaching highlights for sure.
Kyle, you know the rules if we talk about grade school sports here.
Oh, goodness, yeah.
Gotta finish your drink.
We have another buddy who I think Tyler. You guys played CYO in like elementary school, right?
We did, yeah.
Like CYO for us was like high school. If you didn't play like high school basketball, you played CYO.
That was for us too. I too did not play high school basketball like at the high school, so we played like CYO.
Nice, yeah. Ours was just high school. Like, we didn't have it growing up, but they did in Indianapolis. And another one of our friends, Zach, will always bring up 4th grade CYO basketball and how good their team was. So it's always a joy to be around.
Yeah, that is great.
We actually ran the barking dog play once in CYO in a game.
Our guy gets down on all 4s and barks.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Did it work?
It was Keith Brown, the coach's brother, and he was not happy. And no, it didn't work. We didn't have anybody who could shoot the ball. I mean,
that's all right.
All right, that's it for this week's Happy Half Hour. I think we had a great episode.
Yeah.
We touched on a lot of fun things. We'd have been here 10 minutes longer, but one of us can't tell time, so we cut it short this week. Can't tell time, can't text back. It's unbelievable.
I didn't have to do the old one too.
Thanks for listening this week. Check out all the other fun stuff we're doing. I think we got a nooner coming out this week, if you remember the old nooner. Another one coming out, yeah.
Really? What a throwback.
That's going to be exciting. A lot of fun stuff happening. So hit that like button on YouTube, subscribe here, or here. And join us next week as we do another fun Happy Half Hour. Thanks for listening.
Bye-bye.